Hi, this is Ed Roy of Global Data Fusion, and this is a quick look-see at our system if you haven't had the opportunity to go behind the curtain and take a look at what makes our Global Data Fusion applicant screening process really work for you. Remember, at Global Data Fusion, we're more about insight into the applicant than this simply giving you data to look at. So that's why it's important for you to understand fully and are comfortable with using our system. First thing that I'd like to point out is we are members of the National Association of Professional Broadcasters, and we're kind of proud of that. We had to jump through a few hoops in order to make that happen. On the website, when you normally come in as a client, you will click on the client login button. However, for the demonstration this morning or this afternoon, whichever the case may be, we're going to use the demo server, which is identical actually to the system that we have as the full live system, which is what you see when you click through the login or the client login. So let's log in and pretend today that we are actually going to be somebody named Sally Jones. Um, and as I type this in, let's see, I think I have that as Sally Jones 1. And I'll put in the password. We're going to pretend today that we are a representative or a recruiter, if you will, or an HR person for Acme Widget Company. So putting in my credentials, there we go. This is the front door to the system. And believe me, we've made this simple enough for me to use, so if I can use it, you're not going to have a lot of problems with it. In order to initiate a new order, guess what? You click on New Order. Now, when that happens, you get the next screen up, and that gives you the opportunity to add the information that you would normally add for a new applicant. In this case, again, we're pretending that we're Sally Jones, so our name shows up here. If you would like to include here which department you as the recruiter are with, then that's fine, and we can just put HR here, for example. This is a fairly important bit of information for us all to keep us in good stead with the FCRA requirements. As you know, of course, we have to have a signed authorization before we can run these for you. And this tells us where the authorization form is located in case we're audited. And that does happen. We've already been audited a number of times by some of our data providers to make sure that we are keeping the FCRA rules and regulations as we should. Then if we're audited, we have to produce the signed authorization form. So this tells us if it's on file at the office with Acme file, or it's on file with Acme Widget Company. If it's not on file, well, hopefully it would be on file, but this is what we click. And if it's on file with Global Data Fusion, then that would be, of course, with us. And I'll show you a facility for actually adding that to the permanent record of the individual. So for right now, let's just well, I'll tell you what. Let's just say that it's on file with you at Acme Widget Company, and of course, remember now you're Sally Jones. So today, what we're going to do, and please don't pay any attention to these prices. These are for demonstration purposes only. But these are the a la carte services. You can be as broad or as narrow or as specific as you want or as complex as you want with somebody's employment application process, the background screening process. Normally, what we would see as a matter of course is that you would definitely want to run the multi-jurisdictional database. Now, the multi-jurisdictional database, as you know, includes a number of different things. It includes a social security trace, which gives us not only the name of the person associated with the social security number, but where that person has lived and also any other names associated with it. And we run a criminal history check not only on the name supplied by the applicant, but also on any name that is produced by that social security number check. Now, in addition to this, and it's not indicated here, but it will be on your client interface, we also, as part of this package, it's a small package, if you will, but nonetheless a package, we include a federal criminal history check as well. So let's say we're going to run the standard check, which is the multi-jurisdictional database. And by the way, just tell me if you need it, and I'll be happy to send you a list of all the things that we check, all the indices with this, and it's about, goodness, you'll see it's an impressive list of things that we do check. So we're going to add now the driver's history, And if you'd want to do a degree verification, then you'd simply click here. If you want to do a drill down, if you will, and sometimes that's good to do if you're required, but this is a good start. If you want to do a county criminal, then you check this. This is where we actually dispatch researchers to a particular courthouse, wherever it is in the country, and we look the records over for that person. Now then, if you'd want to do a personal reference check, we've just added this as a new feature, then you would click this. If you'd want to do an employment verification, we would click here. Employment credit history, you would click here. If you're in the transportation world and you need a DOT background, that's a slightly different flavor, so we do some things differently, so you would check here. Basically, again, you can check anything that you want to in here that appears on your client page, and we'll accomplish that for you. Here is the applicant's first name, and we'll put in Sam. Let's make him exotic. We'll say Sam Stelly. That's a good French name. And if there are any AKAs, or also known as, or aliases, then we would put those here. This comes into play sometime with the a maiden name, for example, with a female applicant, or if the person has another name that maybe they've used in the past. You're perfectly welcome to put it in there. Here is where we put in the current address, and this is going to be 456 Tree Street. And this time I wish I typed a little faster. And this is going to be in Denver, Colorado. And gosh, right offhand, I don't know the zip code for Denver. So let's say 9, I'll make it a California, 90212. And I know that's not right, but nonetheless, it's a zip code. Social Security number is put in. Remember here, this is a formula as to what we want there, and digits only, so no dashes or spaces. So let's do a 78632588412. Again, just a bogus Social Security number. And here we will do a date of birth. Again, the format is your choice, but it's easier to add it probably this way. Let's say 01 for the month, and for the day we'll say 25, and for the year we'll use gosh, let's make the person a youngster. Let's do 1980, which is gosh, seems like just yesterday. A driver's license number, and I'm going to purposefully, even though here we checked off that we wanted a driving history, I'm going to leave that blank at this time, and I'll show you how we can actually have the system help us correct this. If the applicant has ever been convicted of a felony or misdemeanor, and we would know that from the authorization form because we have those questions there. If the person said yes, then let's put it, and that gives us a good starting point. We will at that point suggest to you, and I would suggest to you as well, that you go back up here and run that county criminal in that particular jurisdiction to see exactly what the disposition of the charges were. It's cheap insurance actually, and it gives us a very well-rounded background. So let's say that this person had a speeding ticket. We'll make it a minor offense here. Now, if at the top the person wanted, and you wanted, to supply this applicant with an email of exactly what we discovered as far as credit, well, not the credit report, but that would certainly be included if you ordered it, but with the background investigation. If you wanted the applicant to receive an email from us allowing them to come in and look at their credit or their a background check, then you would simply say yes here, and then you would at the bottom add the information for the applicant, so we would know where to send the email. But let me just tell you that probably 99.9% of our clients do not do this automatically, and I would recommend that you would think about that as well. Of course, if the applicant wants a copy of their background, then you know, that's a requirement of FCRA. You'd have to give it to them. Now, here we go with the comments. If you have any comments, you can put them here. Once all of this data is entered, then simply click Next. And the next screen comes up, which allows you to scan the data that you have entered. Now, as we were talking earlier, at this point, if you would like to, you can upload, you can scan into a PDF or a JPEG, and you can upload the person's authorization form right here, and it becomes a permanent part of their record, stored uh, as in perpetuity, really, with their record on our system. Now, notice we had asked for a DMV report, but we didn't give the driver's license number. Here's a little reminder that, hey, we need to go back and put that data in. So let me do that very quickly. And I will say that the driver's license number is 235695421, and it was issued in the state of Colorado. And the birth date is automatically picked up from the information that we entered. If there is an AKA, you can put it here. It's not required. And then we'd hit submit. Then we're back, and everything is complete for our order for this particular applicant. At this point, we would look over the information and say, okay, I agree. Notice that here we're going to see this delete order, and you can still delete the order at this point if you want to. You can see this change once you say I agree to submit, and this is where we would submit the order. And I'll go ahead and press submit, and there you go. We have now submitted the order, and the application is in the process of being processed by us. Also, let me just tell you that you can go back at any time that you'd like. Even right now, you can go in and you can take a look at the orders entered today. And here's Sam Stelling. If I click on this, I will see that, of course, it was just less than 30 seconds ago. So the report is not finished yet. The report is still pending completion. That's a big red disclaimer up at the top. So obviously it's not ready for you yet. We have not had a chance to massage it. And by the way, we're not just a database service. We actually have people that look very carefully at this data to give you the best results and to give you that insight that we talked about, as opposed to just pushing data into your plate, and hopefully you can figure it out. So this is what we do, and this is our global data fusion system. Hopefully you will be a client for quite some time. If you have any problems, just simply give us a call. Our number is listed right here on the screen, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Again, thanks for the time to explain this.